trail talk time. Out on another beauty of a trail. Just breathing in that fresh chi. Loving this amazing weather these last few days. And today I wanted to talk about a conversation I was having with my Uber driver last night. He was very wise, and he was saying he was inspired by this guy, Jordan Peterson. I haven't had a chance to check him out yet, but all the stuff he was saying was really hitting me in the heart, and I felt like I needed to share it. You know, I really believe that people have the ability to do whatever they want in this life, and we should always be striving for greatness. And it comes with, our belief. We have to believe in ourselves that we can really achieve the things that we want in this life. And I think it's important to have a clear vision and to aim high, right? But he was talking about, in a way, sometimes if we aim too high, then we might end up failing and, not really allowing ourselves to take another shot, or we just set ourselves up for failure essentially. And so we don't actually move in the direction that we need. And he talked about aiming low, just aim for a step ahead of you. And, once you achieve that, then you'll have this sense of accomplishment, like, wow, I just, hit my target. I achieved what I set out to. And now you can move on to the next thing, the next shot, and take aim and take another shot, right? And it was so beautiful, he was talking about like mountain climbers, really the top of the mountain isn't the end all be all, right? They climb a mountain and they reach the top, and once you're there, you might be basking in the moment for a few minutes, but then you're gonna, climb back down and set your sights on another mountain, a bigger mountain, right? So it's never really about being at the top of the mountain. It's more about the climb, right? And that's so true. It's so beautiful. Like, there is no end all be all perfect, state to be in. We can always keep perfecting our craft and getting better and improving and progressing in life. He said you set your target so that you have, a reason to climb. You have something to move towards. And so maybe sometimes I've felt that way in my life, that I've had such high aspirations, but maybe in the back of my mind, some of it has felt sort of unbelievable. And that's what I was telling him as he was like explaining it to me. Sometimes we have to make sure it's believable for ourselves so that we actually do the work to go ahead and achieve whatever it is we want in this life. So it's just amazing to, break it down and to take things step by step like that, and to realize that there's always more to go anyways. So there's never going to be a perfect time in our life where everything is perfect, because there's always room for improvement. And it was really inspiring. He was talking about this guy, he used to be afraid of water, and he actually ended up becoming, not a Marine, what's the other one? He went into the armed forces, and he's a Navy SEAL now, that's what it was. And so he was able to conquer that fear of just being in the water to becoming a Navy SEAL. And he continually, does marathons and things like that, where he's pushing his limits and continuing to grow and stretch beyond, his limitations, which are all part of our belief systems. And he had a moment in this big marathon that he was running. And, he was getting, closer to the end, but his body started to shut down. He was literally like defecating, pooping his pants. He couldn't hold it in. His body was just letting go. And he thought to himself, is this how it's going to end? And he told himself, there's only two things that are going to happen right now. I'm either going to finish this marathon or I'm going to die. He gave himself those as the only two options. And when you just decide something, all of a sudden you release all of that, negative belief about it. And so whatever it took, he said this guy had to crawl part of the way, but he eventually made it to the end. He succeeded. He found his success. And that's because he got rid of that negative thought about it, saying that I can't finish. He said, I'm going to finish or I'm going to die. There's only two options. So his only option was to succeed in that moment. And that's so beautiful, realizing the power of our mind and our belief in ourselves. And I think it's just beautiful, the way he used that metaphor of taking your shot, taking aim with your arrow, and instead of thinking about it as aiming high, aim low and start to build that momentum, right? Once you hit one target, you get that feeling that, wow, I've really just accomplished something. You get that sense of empowerment from it. And you start to build a momentum in your life, right? We were talking about momentum. And I told him, look at that word momentum. It has the word moment in it. And it's like you just lose yourself in the moment, lose yourself in the process. Instead of worrying so much about that destination, then all of a sudden you'll feel like, wow, in this moment I've really just been enjoying it, and I've had the energy, and I've been, living in such a beautiful way. And now I have more energy to do something else. And I feel, pulled to do it anyways, because I'm clear in the moment, right? I'm not lost in the past or the future. I'm clear in the present. And then you continue to, reach a little bit higher, or aim a little bit higher, and reach another goal. And you continue to build that momentum, and it gets ever stronger. And the most inspiring thing for him, hi, the most inspiring thing that he was talking about was getting yourself out of the victimhood mentality, right? And once again, it might seem like a backwards type of lesson, because he was talking about the guy looking at himself in the mirror. And I've talked about looking in the mirror and doing affirmations like, I am amazing. I have the power to do what I want in this life, giving yourself these positive affirmations. But he went the other way and he said, you suck. And it's completely your fault, right? And taking that responsibility for your life and saying, you know what? We have to do something to make it better. If we suck, what are we going to do about it right now? We have to be the ones. Take your power back. He was saying, it's beautiful to realize that everything in your life is totally up to you. It's been your fault the way you got here right now. And, just own it completely. And it's beautiful because, if it was somebody else's fault, then you would have to rely on them to make the changes for you. But guess what? It's totally up to you. But that puts the power in your own hands, right? That gives you the power to change it and say, wow, it's been me this whole time. So really, I can do something about it right now. And so he's looking in the mirror saying, you suck. This is all your fault. So you have to do something about it and put the power back inside instead of externalizing your power, right? And it was so beautiful. And once again, I looked at the word victim and I was telling him victimhood, right? We wear it like a hood, but we can always take off that victimhood. And it was such a profound moment. We were really feeling inspired. And so, I felt like I had to share that with you guys in hopes to spread that inspiration and realize that life doesn't have to be that complicated. We can take it one step, one shot at a time. Start with something small, and all of these little baby steps will start to lead to bigger changes in our lives. We have to spread it out a bit and realize that life is like a marathon, right? It's not just a 100-meter dash. Give yourself time to grow. It comes along with patience. That's a lesson I keep on learning in my life. But I was thinking about the quote from Bruce Lee. He says something like, "I don't fear the man who does 1,000 different kicks once or 10,000 kicks once. He fears the man that does one kick 10,000 times," right? Focus on one thing at a time and really start to hone your craft and master it and stick with it. Then you start to build the momentum, right? That momentum will start to carry you, and then you're basically running on autopilot. And then you just have to be consistent with that beautiful process, right? The process of progress. And I look at the word frequency, right? I talk about raising our frequency. And the more frequently that you do something, right? That shows you a frequency. You're building your frequency in that power. And so that's a beautiful way for us to raise our frequency. Find something and stick with it. Continue to do it more frequently, and you'll start to grow within it and learn what it is just to master something. And once you form more of a mastery in one area of your life, you actually start to be able to do it in all other areas in your life more easily, because you've realized what it took for you to do it in one field. You learn that it just takes the time and the dedication and the consistency and persistence to keep going with it. So that's all I wanted to share for today. I hope it was inspiring. And it's just been something that's helping me in my life. The little things that bring me joy and that have helped me in my life, the more I consistently do it, I can see that it's helping me to grow and expand. And nothing feels better than that feeling of growth and expansion and progression. So that's all I want to share for today. Hope everyone has an amazing day. Peace and limitless love.